Hi everyone, welcome to Newegg TV. My name is Paul, and today we're going to be going over speakers and headsets. More specifically, speakers and headsets designed for use with your home computer. So here on my right, we have a set of various speaker systems that we're going to go over, and then we're going to talk about headsets. Headset being both headphones and a mic. So for starters here, we're going to talk about your basic 2.0 speakers. 2.0 meaning one left channel, one right channel. For most speaker systems, you're going to have this typical type of audio jack. This is a 3.5 millimeter, also known as a 1/8 inch audio jack. It's called TRS, that means tip, ring, sleeve, and since there's 3 different sections here, it will be able to provide a stereo signal for left and right speakers. Most speakers will have some sort of power, and these particular speakers, they are Razer Ferox speakers by the way, are powered by a USB port. So you plug this in and it charges batteries already in the speakers. Other speakers might use AA, AAA batteries or some other form of power, but they should also have some sort of on-off switch. These particular ones you turn on or off individually by pushing on the top like that. It's fairly unique. And these are ideal for taking on the go. So if you have a laptop and you want some better sound, you might think about getting some speakers like this. Or for instance, if you have a smartphone that can play back music or perhaps an MP3 player with the 1/8 inch audio plug, you can plug it in just like that to play back music, and generally you'll get much better sound out of some individual speakers than you will out of the device itself. You can also plug these directly into a computer, full-size computer if you want, but generally speaking, smaller speakers like this you're going to be using with a portable device. Next up, we're going to talk about some 2.0 speakers that are a bit bigger and designed for use with a full-size computer, and those are our Bose Companion 2 series. So here are our Bose Companion 2 Series 2 speakers. Once again, these are a bit larger. They are still 2.0 speakers, just left and right. And once again, we have the same type of connector that we can plug into our computer, our laptop, or even an MP3 player or a smartphone. This is, once again, the 1/8 inch jack, also 3.5 millimeter jack is what it's sometimes called, and it carries a stereo signal. These two speakers have a mounted volume, also an on-off turning knob, so you can turn the volume up or down straight from the speaker itself. Also has a headphone out, which is very convenient to have on your desktop speakers, because sometimes you might want to plug in some headphones, and it's easier to do it there than, for instance, to have to reach around to the back of your computer. For connections on the back of these, there's a few things to mention. First off, it uses RCA plugs here. So these two RCA plugs go over to our 1/8 inch jack, and that can plug into your computer. It also has 2 more inputs, so that's something else you might want to look for with speakers, is multiple inputs, so you could connect with another device right there and be able to have sound from 2 devices going out of the same speakers. Also, we have a wired plug going from our right speaker here over to our left speaker. This is also a 1/8 inch jack, but it is a mono plug. You can see there's just 2 areas of the TRS connector there, and that plugs in to give you sound out of the other speaker. Finally, speakers do need power, and this particular one does require an AC adapter. So you plug the AC adapter in right here, and then you route that over and plug it into the wall. So not quite as portable, but since they are larger, they will provide better sound, and they will also provide more sound since they have more wattage. Moving right along, next up we have some 2.1 speakers, and this is the Creative Inspire T3130. 2 referring to, once again, our left and right channel speakers. 0.1 referring to the subwoofer. So anytime you see a speaker system that's 2.1, 5.1, 7.1 for that example, the 0.1 is always referring to an additional subwoofer. Subwoofers generally are larger because they need a larger speaker and a larger driver in order to reproduce those low frequencies of bass. For instance, in this particular setup, all of our sound is routed through the subwoofer. So we have our AC power cord, first of all, providing power to the speaker system. We have a little breakout control knob here that you can mount to your desk so you can turn the speakers on or off and control the volume. We, of course, once again, have our 1/8 inch or 3.5 millimeter audio jack that you will plug into your computer or your laptop. And then finally on the back here, we have your speaker outputs that the speakers would plug into, and you also have a bass level knob that you can control to turn the bass up or down. The subwoofer here is only going to reproduce low tones, which are great if you're watching movies or you really want to annoy your upstairs neighbors. And finally, for our speakers, we're moving on to the big guns. These are the Logitech Z906 surround sound speaker system, and these are definitely not portable. These are made for use in-home because you're not going to want to take these anywhere. First off, this is a much louder surround sound system. This is a 500 watt total sound system. And next up, of course, it is 5.1. So you can see we have 5 speakers here. So not only do we have our front left and right speakers up here, we also have some rear left and right speakers, and we have a center channel speaker here. That's why it's 5. 5 referring to the 5 of these. You can also find 7.1 surround sound sets, which give you an additional middle set of speakers right here, and I'll show you how those plug in just a moment. But also pointing out some of the more advanced features that you get with a system like this is a much larger breakout box here that can show you everything such as what input that you're set to, because it does have multiple inputs. It will automatically detect whether you're using Dolby sound. It will show you stereo and tell you which types of speakers that you're set up with, and also if you're using 3D sound. Finally, you have a very large volume knob. This little IR receiver right there is because it does include a remote as well, so you can adjust your sound from far away or the couch or wherever you might be sitting far away from the speakers. And for convenience sake, there's a couple there's a headphone output right here, so you can plug in your headphones if you do have those. And you also have an extra input right here, so you can plug in, for instance, an MP3 player and play right off of that. And of course, it is 5.1, the 0.1 once again being our subwoofer, and we have a very large and very high-powered subwoofer with these particular set of speakers. The subwoofer also contains the amplifier for the unit. Let me just flip it around here to the back. So it does have the AC adapter plug that you will need to plug into the wall to power everything. And then back here you have multiple inputs. You also have this console output, and that is to control the console port that I just showed you with all of these special features on it. These are your speaker outs, and this is moving more towards home theater category because these are not speaker plugs. These are more standard speaker wire type connectors, so you will need to connect the red and the black, for example. But let's go back to the inputs. Since this is a higher quality surround sound system, there are multiple inputs. So you have both a coax input, you have a couple Toslink inputs. You also have a RCA input for left and right there. And then you have these 3 plugs right here. Now we've already shown you our 1/8 inch plug right there, but you will see a couple more here. This 1/8 inch plug plugs in right there, and that will give you sound for your front, left, and right speaker as well as the center channel. This black plug here is for your rear speakers, so the rear speakers get a stereo input or a stereo sound by plugging in right there. Finally, this sort of mauve, that's orangish colored plug plugs in right there, and that is strictly for the subwoofer. The sound inputs going in right there will correspond with the sound outputs on your computer. And if you have a computer that was put together in the last, I don't know, 5 years or so, you'll probably have sound outputs something like these right here. If you don't, you can also get a sound card for your computer that will have those types of outputs. These are pretty clearly labeled though. Ignore the pink and the blue for now, those are inputs. The green one here though is your standard output, so if you're just using a 2.0 set like I showed you at the beginning, all you'll need to plug in is that one green plug. If you're using a 5.1 surround sound system though, you will need to plug in this plug to get sound to your rear speakers. Also, if you have 7.1, you can see this gray plug right there, and that is for your side speakers. Finally, the orangish plug right here is for your subwoofer. And that is how you connect your surround sound for your 5.1 or 7.1 stereo system or speaker system. Let's now move on to headsets, and there's a distinguishment between headsets and headphones. Headsets have a microphone attached, and they're very popular for computer users because computer users often do stuff like Skype, or they play games and they want to go on Ventrilo and they want to actually be able to talk and have a microphone attached as well as listen. Headphones and headsets are also very convenient because you can listen to your music or your entertainment items personally rather than sharing it with everyone else who might be in hearing distance. So first off, we have a Sound Blaster Tactic 3D Sigma headset right here, and a few things to point out about this that are some nice features are that they actually have metal in the headband here that helps for durability because if you're moving around a lot in these or you're adjusting them, this does get some some wear and some use. So you want to make sure that you have a nice sturdy headband. Also, some padding up here provides comfort, especially if you're going to be playing or sitting on your computer for long periods of time. Headsets, generally speaking, will also have that same 1/8 inch 3.5 millimeter standard audio jack to plug in and get sound over to your right and left headphone. They will also have, if they have a microphone that is, another 1/8 inch plug, and that is to plug into the microphone input, the pink input on your computer, so you can use the included microphone. The microphones can come in a variety of flavors. This one, for example, is detachable. So it also has a little flexible band here, so you can position it closer or further from your mouth, however you prefer. And once again, detachable, so you can plug it in just like that. Wait, make sure to angle it properly. Just like that, and now your headphone is attached. One other unique feature about this particular headset, apart from the ribbon cable, is you do have an inline mute option, so you can turn your microphone on or off without having to go into your control panel. It also has a volume button there to control the volume in the speakers. This also comes with a little USB attachment, and this is if you want to use a separate USB audio device. You plug that in, there's actually a small USB audio chip inside this little housing, and then you can plug your mic and your headphones directly into that. So very useful, especially if your computer doesn't happen to have an a sound card, or if you want to use your sound card for something else and have a dedicated line just for your headphones. Let's also talk a little bit about this Corsair HS1, another good example of some headphones, or headset, I should say. Same thing with the audio. You have your one plug for sound, one plug for the mic. This one also has an inline mute as well as a volume button. And this one comes with a microphone that's attached all the time. You can put it up like that to get it out of the way if you want. Again, it is flexible. And then another nice feature about this one is that these earmuffs here are actually detachable. So you can pull those off, and you can put on, that comes with some pleather versions as well, so you can change those up to suit your tastes and figure out which one you find to be most comfortable for hours of use. And that is going to wrap it up for today's video. We hope you've learned a little bit more about speakers and headsets. For more information, please head over to our Newegg YouTube channel, and don't forget to subscribe. Thanks a lot for watching, and we'll see you next time.